Very good morning, students. Today we are going to learn a poem, Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. Have you ever heard Robert Frost poet? Before we enter into the poem, just I want to let you know some of the things about poetry. What is meant by poetry? Absolutely correct. It is a reflection of emotions. But William Wordsworth rightly said, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It's recollected from tranquility. Spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, it takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. So what does he want to tell? A poem, it has to come like a rain. Spontaneously it has to come like a rain. It should not come by force. So that is the thing he told very clearly, that it has to be done only during the time of tranquility. What is meant by tranquility? When your mood is in a pacified manner, that time only you could write something about the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. And John Keats, he told something about the poem, if poetry doesn't come as naturally as the leaves to a tree, better not come at all. So he told very clearly, it has to come naturally like a leaves to a tree. So we know very well what is meant by poetry. So now let us go to Robert Frost. We have to know something about Robert Frost. Robert Frost is an excellent poet. He wrote many poems. His poems are very simple and it has a deep thought. Most of his poems he just write in the form of a rural realistic way. It just tells about the reality of the rural area. So everybody can understand very easily his poems. And he was born in San Francisco in the year of 1874. He wrote many poems. I just want to tell some of the poems. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, that was a wonderful poem. And The Road Not Taken, a very world famous poem, and many poems he wrote. For that, the collection of poem he got Pulitzer Prize and as well as Poet Laureate Award. So now let us come to this poem. Here this poem is very simple. It just tells about the day-to-day activities only. Look at the stanzas. We have only two stanzas are here. It looks very small, but it has a deep thought. Some of the things are looking very small in size, but it has a deep value, deep thought. Here also, the poem just tells about how the poet feels when he was walking outside. It was a day of winter and almost you may find all the places are covered with the snowflakes. And the poet was in a bad mood. We did not know exactly what happened to him. The poet didn't reveal even a single place that what happened to him. And he was just walking. While he was walking, and he came across a hemlock tree. A hemlock tree, you know, it's a poisonous tree. And when he was crossing, at the time, a crow was sat on the hemlock tree. When he was just passing by, at the time, the movement of the crow just leaves some particle of dust. It exactly fell where we don't know, but it fell on his head or shoulder. The poet didn't mention that place. And this is the first stanza it tells. You just to see the way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So, it is just a very simple line he mentioned, but the poet was not in a good mood. He was just walking. When he passed by at the time, a crow just, what kind of a movement of a crow, that also it is not mentioned very clearly, it is just left to the audience thought. And it may be the crow just perched on the branch, which made the dust particles fell over the poet. Otherwise, we may think when the crow preening his feathers, I mean it is cleaning his feathers, it may leave some particle of dust, or when it just started its flight at the time also it may happen. It was not clearly mentioned, and this, when it just fell, the poet mood has totally changed. That is the thing he wanted to tell. Let us go to the first stanza again. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Here the poet took two things, two different things. What are that? One is hemlock tree, that is a poisonous tree. Another one is a crow. Both are inauspicious one. Am I right? Hemlock tree is a poisonous one and a crow is a ill omen bad. Ill omen means it is not auspicious one, it is an inauspicious one. So, both the two things the poet has handled very beautifully. Let us go to the second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So, the first part of the life means the first part of a day he was not happy. He was just filled with a gloomy thought. He was in a melancholic mood. Why? We don't know exactly what happened to him, but in the second stanza, when the snow of flakes, the snow of dust fell over him, his mindset totally changed and has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. I had rued means he was totally dejected, he was in a very gloomy mood, suddenly his mindset has changed. Here I just want to quote one Keats quotation, John Keats. He wrote very beautifully, a thing of beauty is joy forever. He mentioned about the beautiful things gives a joyful thing forever. But here he was totally contradicted and he mentioned very beautifully, even an inauspicious things also can bring happiness. So, this poem he mentioned the inauspicious things which elated the mood of happiness to the poet. I hope you enjoyed the poem. Thank you and have a nice day. Keep learning and keep on learning.